Right, hello everyone, and welcome to match day 2 of my Éire League season. Match day 1 was unfortunately an admin draw due to some conflict of scheduling. But match day 2 got played. Unfortunately, I didn't stream it, so this is just a replay. We have my Renegades. You can see an ogre there, and you can see a mighty minotaur, and of course the team is called the biggest, bestest moo, because you know it's all about the moo. So game 1 we faced Mack and his Orcs. We got 2 random skills from our admin draw in the previous round, and we got a frenzy on our Skaven, and we got shadowing on a random little human. Swing this around. So I decided to set up you know, this kind of offset rule of 5 almost. We'll switch to red and blue. And prayer to Nuffle. So serfs get 2 SVP. So here we go. Basically, don't really care about the lineman, right? All I really care about is the Dark Elf and the Minotaur, really. The Ogre, so we went with the 2 big guys start, so we could get the Goblin bench, and we could also get the 2 rerolls and the Apple. Mack did mistakenly start off with a 1D block, gets a stun, and then that allowed him, of course, to follow up and get the rest of the hits, right? And all of them fell to the ground, which is fun and exciting. And then we did these basings, which of course meant we weren't doing any blitzing. So I decided to come in, blitz this guy, because if we clear this guy, then essentially we get to 2D this guy and 2D this guy, which is exactly what we did. So the moo, despite the whole team being based around him, did nothing in the first turn. Except, oh, I forgot I moved him over for assist, of course. I wasn't too thrilled about this Dark Elf assist, to be honest. And then 1 and 9, so just eat that. It's not worth one of my 2 rerolls at this early days, or early hour. So then he can, of course, come in and 2D this, and I think he probably could blitz the Dark Elf as well. Probably should blitz the Dark Elf. So the Ogre survives. I thought he was just going to form like a straight line here. And then, you know, if he does, it causes me a bit of problems, right? Very strange build as well from Mack. 11 players, 3 rerolls, and a Goblin. But, you know, you get your 4 blitzers and your 4 big guns. So, he left this guy down. I was hoping he'd stand him up, because if he did, I was going to surf him 100%. So, with him staying on the ground, I sort of just looked at this blitzer, right? I presume this is what I did anyway. Blitz in with the Minotaur into here, and then, like, get all the follow-up hits you want. It does kind of leave the Mino a bit out to dry, but you know, you can't take the biggest, bestest moo and not use them ever, right? So yeah, I'm pretty sure this is what I did. Just reposition the Dark Elf for some other shenanigans, leave 2 on 1 over here for now. So it does get the knockdown, and then I decided to foul it because, you know, it was 3 assists, and I don't know if I like that foul, to be honest. Looking back on it, and then I decided to do this 2 into uphill. But yeah, not my greatest turn ever, to be honest. And then I was looking at this little chain. If you get a pow, then it might remove the chance of him getting smacked in the face. But also putting him here as well means he has to commit a bit more to get this hit, right? So this guy's isolated. This guy's off the pitch. This guy's stuck on the moo. My rat does get hit, and just a stun, and then that does allow the hit on this human who gets cased. So, you know, not my greatest turn, and arguably punished for it. I was wondering if he was going to come in and foul him now, but he seems to just happy to do that. And then the big undodge, I don't know. Big undodge, like if it fails, it leaves 2D on the ball straight away with the Minotaur, right? Like 2 into 2. So not the greatest. So then I was looking at seeing if we could do something about hitting the ball, you know, hitting here and then getting the POW, and then the Mino comes in, and I just decided, you know, let's just hit the goblin on 3 dice and then come in the back, because then that unlocks all these hits, right? We've potential, like, you know, what's that, like 7 dice we put into the goblin, and it's pretty easy to cas it. But I was pretty happy getting all these hits, all these chains, getting everything stuck in, especially like this ogre one. I was pretty happy with. I think I should have moved. Oh, I guess he was standing. Yeah, I guess no. If he was standing, then it was fine to do it this way. And I think I double rush him into base here. Yeah. And then, like, all of a sudden, the orcs are pretty much, they're in big trouble here. And then he just decides to first action dodge on a 3+, so that's, you know, it's fine. There was definitely ways to clear the ball, but maybe none of them were as safe as just the 3+ off, to be honest. It's one of those things, right? Like, you could look at chaining everything off and then like have nowhere to put the ball to save. So sometimes you've just got to assess, yeah, okay, it's not great, but let's go. And then both down into skull, final reroll. Definitely dice on the ball this turn now. I can't remember if I went for it. Must have. I must have if I started with this. So, like, obviously if he goes down, then it's just straight run around and 2D with the Dark Elf. I decided to do this to chain this guy out instead. You know, and also it's getting to hit the goblin. So he runs in there. This is just a 1D because he's obviously not cancelled. And that's fine. Just take the 1D, stay where we are. He doesn't have any rerolls. He stands up. Take that hit. This guy can dodge off in the end. Come down to like here or something. And he does. Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty easy like 1D blitz out, right? Like 2+ blitz out basically. But instantly rolls a 1D here instead, like kind of a pointless 1D. So now I'm just looking at surfing this ball, right? And like it's genuinely like the easiest surf in the world because of this T shape, right? Like this guy's already cancelled, so this rat just needs to stand up, hits this, chains this to here, and then bam, out. And then like on the push here, right, this guy just comes over for the assist. So like as simple as you want. And like especially with 2 SPP up for crowd surfs, right, it's pretty good. So ball gets surfed, into the crowd it goes, and then see where it goes. So it goes into my tackle zone. So just put 2 tackle zones on the ball. That's a bit of a weird one. So I guess 1D blitz here and then come pick it up. Which is exactly what I did. 1D blitz for a push, right? It's not too bad. And then pick it up on a tree. And throw the reroll into that, definitely. And then I didn't really know where to go. Like, I couldn't really come over here. So I figured just coming up here to give 3 dice on this fella was pretty good. Although, like, if the Ogre Bonehead, it's an instant 1D on the ball. But everything else is pretty locked down tight. Nice dodge off at the end just to completely remove him from the game, basically. And he instantly comes in and rushes anyway. But you know, that's a 2+ that could have failed, right? And then I'm gone. So, and then I thought maybe he was going to do the 4+ dodge, like stand him up and do the 4+ dodge and 2D the ball, because he's had form of doing that. But again, maybe that was just the misclick on turn 2 or 3. Could be, right? And then he did unfortunately Kaz my Dark Elf, and like, I don't know about the... So, my main concern is the next game I have to play is against Misspell Tree's Dark Elves. And I already think I'm massively up against it. So that I wanted to put the Apo into that to guarantee the Dark Elf for that game. But, like, it's probably a bit short-sightedness, really, on my part. Because, like, the Minotaur could just randomly die as well. And... all of a sudden, we're a team based around the Minotaur without a Minotaur. So yeah, not amazing. And I wanted to free up this Skaven here because I have a plan. Do you see the play, guys? So the ogre splats the goblin, gets a Kaz, glorious. And then I think I'm a bit insane with this play, right? Full on Andy Devo coming up here like funny surf lol. Like, give a man a random frenzy and see what'll happen. But you know, there's still the 2 SVP in play for surfs, right? So and also like gets rid of another orc, which is pretty cool. Bit of a sideline cage because there's no goblin anymore to worry about, and the Mono just decides to do nothing, which was nice of him, wasn't it? Human gets whacked in the face. Rush come in there, and then the blitz in on the frenzy, which does cause me problems, you know, because now all of a sudden it's my turn 7, and like I'm locked here. Now, I do have enough players to get around it, but it was pretty good from his point. And then he took a bit of time around this, so I thought he was I reckon he thought he was setting up a surf. Which obviously it wasn't. So then the solve for this, I think, was him hitting here. And then, because I wanted to see what the ogre would do, right? So I want the ogre to like come up here. And then the ogre was like, no, I'm not doing anything. So I was like, fine. We'll do 2 into uphill again. And then randomly cast a blitzer. And I think this was probably shit as well, right? Like, I could have just gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... to here and then tried to tag, but this way, and then I tried to double rush, which I obviously failed. Because rolling 2+ are hard. So yeah, like, despite a complete dominance of the first half, not much really happened for me. So there's one guy in the ball. I have no rerolls. I want to clear this guy off and then try and do a 3-2-2 to go in half time. 1-0 up, which means a 2-2 from the ogre, and then Keith saw a guy 2 squares from the sideline. I was like, well, frenzy's good skill, isn't it? Unfortunately, I didn't get my surf. So just go for the pickup. Got the pickup and made the 2 go for it to go 1-0 up going into the half. Renegade just decided to completely bang out the orcs, getting a couple of surfs in there as well. But in fairness, we took 2 Kaz back, so we were capped on 10 as well. So 10v8 for the second half, I believe. So then going into my drive. And touchline ball, and I was like, okay, well, if it, like, I was genuinely thinking about going for the quick score, but the ball obviously landed there. And I've no Dark Elf either, right? So it was like, alright, it's Goblin Ball. Goblin Ball, and then the rats back here in case there's any pressure to maybe surf again. The Mino decides to not blitz, which was fun. The Ogre decided to not do anything, which was also amazing. You know, all the things, just doing nothing. And then this was fine to eat, right? There's, like, you can blitz this and come in, but I don't know. I think it was fine. Like, he should have moved to here, right? And then he should probably try to pick up the ball before taking these hits. Because this pressure does cause some problems, right? So 1 and 9 into pushes, which is fine. All of a sudden, all my players are based up. I have 2 guys down here to deal with his 2 guys. Now, he can't get to the end zone or anything, so it's not terrible. Can he get it? 3, 6, 8? No. You can base the ball, but he can't do much about it. So, it's very much a case of, right, let's see what we can do. So, Rat goes into screen. Mino comes into blitz because I was like, oh, there's a little chain here. So, chained him free. So, on the blitz, we freed up 2 of the linemen, which is pretty cool. Gets us back and around, right? Probably just, again, don't take that hit, right? Just pick up the ball now. So, we do finally decide to pick up the ball. And we make it, you know, because could have been pretty scary if we didn't. This lino just dodges back, gets to shape up a bit more. And same here. So the Orcs down to 7. 7 versus 10. So, pretty comfortable, really, right? If I can, like, reconnect with my team now, that's the main thing. And that's 2 rerolls gone in already from the Orcs in by turn 10. So quite pleased with that. These 2 guys, they don't really bother me where they are, right? Goblin's just running over here. I have enough players back now to screen all this. Which I'm quite happy with. Quite happy to take a bit of screening. So there we go. And then with that screen in place, the Moo gets to moo and does nothing. And the Ogre gets to blitz and then come back and like form more of a screen here to really allow us to reconnect next time. So there is a bit of a hole. I was trying to decide whether I wanted the hole here or the hole here. And I guess the hole back here makes more sense because he has to go further. And then the dodge here to stop him getting hit in the face. And then when he did dodge, it was like, okay, well, now I can just 2D this orc as well. So in he comes with the blitz on the 2D. Follows up. These 2 men's are now based, and then he puts them into here, which means it's a pretty simple blitz off, right? I mean, it's a blockless blitz, so you know, 1 and 9, 1 and 81, and it's probably a draw. Final reroll gets burnt here though, so I'm liking it. Pretty comfortable. Ogre just moves in to tag him. In comes the blitz to clear the ball. And gets the POW, so then he can go into there, so we can, you know, free these guys up after. Maybe he just stands here and these 2 dodge off. Maybe that's the play. But I was kind of thinking, like, it's already 10v7, right? It's not the end of the world having it, like, you know, 8 versus 5, right? 8 versus 5 is pretty favorable for me as well. Mino was just trying to move. He says no, but like he's in a pretty good position where he is anyway. So I didn't hate just trying to, you know, seeing if I can move him. I sort of had the idea of scoring on the Minotaur at some point around now. You know, the Orcs don't have any rerolls, so I was like, yeah, sure. Let's see if we can do it. Little side goal in the game for me, really. Didn't quite work out so far. And the Blitzer does the 3-2-2 to come and base here. And he just skulls out. So now all of a sudden he's out of the game. These two Linos are back in the game. Which is pretty cool, right? Means we can mosey on down here. So he goes up into there. He just stands. I was really wondering whether I moved this ball before this ogre hit. And like, I don't know. Probably. The answer is probably yes, I do. But like, I don't know, it's so easy for him to just 3 plus off and 2D the ball up here. And then this guy goes up into here. And we won an 81 into KO. And this is kind of what I was worrying about, right? So now it's just 3 plus 2 plus 2D on the ball. But you know, no rerolls or anything, and like no recovery, so it's not the worst thing in the world. And then Shadowing guy is in a very funny place, as we're about to see. So he does go for the dodge blitz, and I successfully shadow. And he goes for another dodge. And I successfully shadow. And then he falls over. And then I roll a 1 on my shadowing. But, you know, shadowing technically might have won us the game here. And then the Minotaur was still trying to score at this point. At this point now, turn 14, the Mino is just too far away to score. And my next plan was, this guy down here I saw was on 3 SVP. So my next plan was to get him to score instead. But you know, he's on the other side of the pitch, so it's a long way for him to go. So just move him back up as a little screen. Like, we can get him to here on turn 15 if you know, if things go our way, right? There's like no pressure on the ball. So it does that, and then because he didn't knock him down, couldn't do anything else. So he just moves up there. He moves up there as a little scatter cage. He just screens him off. Mino does blitz, because, you know, biggest, bestest move after all, in case you've forgotten. And, you know, just another stun from him. But, you know, it was the greatest, bestest move I've ever seen. And then in comes Mr. Scorer. And then does the 2-3. He's now safe. In he goes. Well, a bit of planning, but I was really hoping it would be the Moo that I was handing it off and scoring to. But you can't have everything in the world, can you? Still, it was a pretty good 2-0 win for us. Pretty good 2-0 win, and then we just backline because they have no scoring threat. Give them the stuff we don't really care about, like armor 10, shadowing, and an orc and a goblin. And then there's an officious ref, and he comes in and stuns my Moo. Like, first game we've played with the team, and the officious ref every flippin' time, man, comes in and stuns my Moo. Like, incredible. The biasness of this referee. So a nice 2-0 win at the end. Some SCP all round. We leveled up a lineman, got him block, and I'll show you in a second what else we got. So the replay is over. Continue, of course, doesn't actually continue. So there we go. Goblin got MVP as well. And so we took block, obviously, and we randomed leap on this goblin, who will be getting cycled, guaranteed. And we also had enough money to cycle the dark elf, so we just sacked the one that was missed next game, and we hired this rookie. Which means we're a bit away from getting the third big guy again, but I thought it was quite important to have this elf for our game against Misspell Tree. And we can have a quick look at Misspell Tree's team, just in preparation for next week. So Dark Elves, 11 men's, 2 rerolls, Apo, 1 Blodge Blitzer, 1 Witch, and that's it. So yeah, that'll be a fun one. And these are the rest of the fixtures. And yeah, that's it for this video. Hopefully everyone enjoyed some Renegade on Orc action. It's a really interesting matchup, like, you know, with no skills or anything. It's tough, like. It went a lot more in my favor than I was expecting, for sure. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you all in the next one.